edition. We have myself, Jesse Smith. Introduce yourself, everyone.
Jared Haldugas.
And Matt Elliott.
Cool. So Matt's joining us this week to talk about some level design. You guys like level design, right?
And I am not Ultramantis. Sorry.
But he could be somebody else. Maybe. All right, let me get the... Jared, why don't you want to go ahead and talk a little bit about your experience? This is your first CHIKARA show.
Yeah, no, I definitely do.
And I'll get some stuff set up over here while you do that.
Yeah, definitely. So we went down to Pennsylvania this weekend. It was it was my first show ever. I mean, Jesse's a hardcore independent wrestling fan, but for me, I'd never been to a wrestling show before, so it was pretty awesome to see. I don't know. I just got really excited seeing everybody so passionate about CHIKARA and about the event. And it was exciting. It was a lot of fun. I think I watched wrestling when I was a kid, and on WWE or WWF rather, and I haven't really seen anything since then. And it was really nice to just kind of get there, watch how excited everybody was, how excited to meet all the wrestlers, to see how excited they were to be in a video game. I thought that was really cool. We got a bunch of interesting shots. I don't know if Jesse's pulling those up, but. We'll show them to you later at some point, but we got a bunch of shots of the wrestlers playing our game, and it was just, I don't know, it was a lot of fun. And I just kind of got all pumped up to go make a game. I don't know.
Cool. I'm getting the chat room up, and for some reason the chat room just doesn't like to operate very well when I'm broadcasting. So,
yep.
But I see Lysander86 says rocks out to the kickin' tunes. So
glad we could bring you some mellow
That's
tunes
right.
during your work day.
If we want, we could just DJ the rest of
Nice.
the afternoon if we don't get any questions.
We could be soft rock 10,
Yes.
103.7.
Play some
We've
Barry
all
White.
got radio voices, right?
Play some Barry White.
This is David Allen Boucher.
So it was a really cool experience. It's, as Jared had said, I'd been to a bunch of CHIKARA shows in the past, but this was a special one. It was the return of CHIKARA after being gone for a year. So that was fun and exciting. We got to hang out. It was my first time there as a vendor, so being behind the table, and we got to meet a lot of people who had already backed us and were really supportive. That was very awesome. And also some people who are going to pledge in the upcoming weeks when they get paid. That seemed to be a pretty common thing. When I get my paycheck, I'll give you some money.
I realized we should probably clear up a misconception. If you pledge on Kickstarter, you don't get charged until the end of Kickstarter.
That's correct. Yeah.
So you can go ahead and pledge if you want. If you want to throw down $50 for your next paycheck or whatever, just go ahead and do that. You're not going to get charged until the end when we're successfully funded. So
That's a very good point. I don't know why I didn't say that.
yeah, I thought about it, of course, on the drive home. But
Yeah. So yes, if you're listening out there and you haven't pledged, pledge now because it doesn't matter. You're going to get charged at the end. So you got 17 days left, is that right?
Yep.
17 days. And we just hit the 10K plateau. Sunday night, Monday morning, was it?
Yeah, it was like last night, middle of last night or
okay.
something like that.
So very cool. And we released our next playable character, which is Hallowicked, who we get to meet with. And we get a picture of him playing the game, which I don't have the pictures yet. I'll have them hopefully tonight, and I'll release.
Sorry, I spoiled.
No, it's all right. It's not a spoiler. We'll release them. Just don't have them yet. So, very cool experience, though. And CHIKARA will be coming to Boston in July. So anyone in the area here, Boston Game Dev, or anyone local should go check that out. And also our buddy Eric Hunn, who had helped us with the Kickstarter video, he did he animated the video for their King of Trios promo, which has been getting rave reviews. They did like a Lego thing, Lego theme, and people were going nuts about that. So. Eric,
it's on YouTube right now. I think you can go find it.
Yeah, so our buddy Eric helped us out with the Kickstarter, also did that as well. So Eric is an awesome dude, and he's very talented. So, all right, well, let's see if we get some questions. Oh, we do have Sleepy says, I'm waiting on concept art for the Fat Meth character I've heard so much about.
We could probably take care of that.
As long as Fat Meth gives us $1,000, right?
That's true. That's true. He could be in the game.
That's right.
So just tell Fat Meth to donate some of his pizza money.
I don't know if he's going to want to do that. So while we have Matt in here, we can talk about some level design stuff. So why don't we do that, and we'll wait for some questions. I got to check the Twitter machine. Is that what they call it these days?
I think it's a ticker tape.
So there was going to be look in there to see if we have any questions, and we're also in the Twitch chat room here. So Matt, I guess just talk a little bit about the level design for Rudo Resurrection. I know you touched upon it in the Kickstarter video, but
Yeah.
for anyone out there in dev land who was curious about the the actual process, I guess explain that a bit.
So it's kind of a new realm, I guess, for me, because after working where I had for 10 years and having those processes established very clearly, we had worked it out to a pretty flawless machine. This is brand new Wild West kind of stuff. We're working on figuring out a new process for us to be able to take concept art and turn it into actual real 3D game environments that we can run around in. One of the things that we really want to focus on is being able to accurately represent what our concepts look like in our games. So when we do our initial development for an environment type, we'll have an overview concept produced. That overview concept will then be taken by myself, and I will attempt to recreate the scene as best as possible using the Unreal Editor. Usually this will involve me working with brushes and some very basic white mesh, white box untextured objects. From there, that artwork that basic level will be taken by the artists, and the artist will have an opportunity to go through, fix my crappy artwork, and make it look nice and awesome and fitting within our art direction. One of the nice things about Unreal is it appears to be just ridiculously extensible, so we can do a lot of what we want to do, when we want to do, and how we want to do it, and that gives us the opportunity to really kind of play with and prototype different features and different mechanics within a level without really needing a lot of intense pre-development time to get us the features that we want to work with. Blueprints have been amazing, and I think Jared and Jesse can talk more to just how awesome they are than I can, because I haven't really delved too deep into it. But I've been blown away by the experience working with this engine. Right now, I've kind of got two environments working in tandem. I think you guys talked a little bit about it last week with with our development process. I don't know if we've talked about what those environments are yet, so I'm not going to spoil them too much, but the idea for both of them holds true. We have an overview concept. The Black Tea Garden concept that has been posted around a little bit is one of the ones that I was trying to bring that concept to life in 3D space, and once the artists have some time to get in and take a look at it, hopefully we'll be able to show you the concept and the actual 3D space. We've got another overview concept in the process right now that I'm starting to work on getting my white box objects put together for, and that'll be another one that we'll hopefully be able to do a before and after comparison.
Cool. We just had a question from Lysander86. Any word on adding interactive objects to the levels to use for beating your opponents? I don't want to say folding chairs, but folding chairs?
Well, I did make some white box folding chairs.
You did. One of the things we definitely will probably add in, there's definitely going to be destructible objects. That's one thing we've certainly talked about. As far as interactive objects that you can use against your opponents, that's still sort of TBD. One of the big things is in CHIKARA, wrestling is king, right? So, doing these crazy moves, and they don't really get too much into using, crazy objects like tables and chairs and stuff like that. It does happen on very rare occasion, but not very often. So we want to sort of stay true to the source material, but in the special moves, there will certainly be some crazy, outlandish special moves where, who knows, someone could take a, bazooka out of their pocket and shoot someone with it, potentially. So that's some of the stuff that's still up in the air right now, but there definitely will be some crazy special moves that we'll use in there. And then who knows, we might add some of that stuff in. There definitely will be destructible objects, though. That's one of the things that we're going to focus on.
Yeah.
Destructible objects and just objects you can interact with in the environment. One of our demo levels has the punching bag that is awesome. You can walk up to it, collide with it. It'll swing around after you've walked past it. It's it's all there in the engine and in the tools for us to use. So it's something that we're excited about setting up more of. It's more a case of once we build the levels, we kind of want to survey what's in the levels and see what makes sense to put in as far as interactive components go.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what the next level is going to be like that we've already started sort of concepting out, and I know you and I have talked a little bit about it. And Lysander says, bazookas? Even better. So I think we're on the hook for bazookas now, guys.
Great.
And we have someone in the chat room called Rotary Club Minion. So and they say hi all. So does that mean we have a minion?
Maybe. Be nice to have minions again.
It would be. Because we could use some drinks or coffee or whatever, right?
Well, that's just me. So
Jared's sporting his just got Unreal shirt.
the beep.
We can swear technically, but you know,
It's there's probably kids listening. So
there might be kids out
I
there.
think Lysa's kid is watching us. So
Oh, we better keep it quiet then. So yeah, so there's a little bit of what we got going on, and Matt, you've already started working on the Black Tea Garden. I know you briefly touched on that, but
Yep.
we had the concept from the awesome artist James Ball, who we've been working with, and so what is it like, sort of just you taking that piece and working that into an environment and building it? Do you take it verbatim and look at it and say, like, I'm going to do this, or do you take little aspects from it? Talk about that.
So my usual process when looking at an overview concept anyways is to start out just kind of bring the concept art into Photoshop and just highlight the crap out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Find all the pieces in there that I feel like would make good modular assets that we can pull out. Like, this tree looks awesome, this piece of stone wall looks awesome, this building looks awesome, and kind of use those as the foundations for what I'll ultimately building. Make this is all the mundane process portion of developing video games. It's not all complete excitement and fun. So what I'll do is I'll take those ideas out of the concept art and basically make a spreadsheet, that tells the artists, like, these are the things that eventually I would love to have in our asset sets. I'll try my best to make reasonable facsimiles of a lot of those when I'm building out my rough spaces, just so that it's very easy for an artist to take the space I've built and do a quick find and replace and take out all of the old gray space objects and put in final art assets without having to do a lot of fiddling here and there to get everything lined up just the way you want. My process for building levels, I usually start out with a basic scale component. I'll figure out camera angle and scale, set it up, and just lay out the length of the level, and then start building in chunks. Start what our visibility for the first section, where you start that level goes. What's the visibility on it? What kind of cool things do we want to have in it? And then from my scale objects, I'll start roughing out high-level brush details. Very simple things like where are the floors, where are the walls, what are the big, simple geometric shapes that I can put in space to define the playable area, and then further refine that on another pass, going through and replacing those larger gray brush objects with smaller, more detailed objects, like, oh, this brush object was the relative size of a tree, take the brush object out, put in a tree. So it's a
Right.
multi-layer process. Once I kind of get to a point where I'm happy with how the layout is, the general silhouette of everything, then that section gets passed over to the artists, and then the artists do their awesome work in it, and take a very rough space and mold it into something that looks beautiful and looks complete.
Cool. We just had a question come across via Twitter. Chase for AXW, who I believe we met Chase on Sunday at the show. Just looking at his Twitter profile, says co-host of the Oh My God Wrestling podcast with Tony Pizza Guy. So we did speak with him.
Relation to meth?
I don't know. We should make a love connection there or something. So Chase asks, from what I've seen, there has only been kicks and punches. Chikara has many hurricanranas and dives. Will those be in the game? Do you want to take that one, Jared? Do you want me to?
Yeah, I mean, we're currently right now working on that whole kind of combat gameplay demo coming up. and we're working on a bunch of different animations. Obviously, we want wrestling moves in there. I mean, we want as much as we can get away with that fits in the side scroller beat 'em up. So I mean, I think absolutely. I mean, we're looking at we just looked at an animation kind of I'm not really sure the fit for it exactly, but just a dive kind of cross stage. With a sort of get up, like spin to the ground and get up. I don't even know how to explain it really, but it was pretty badass. So yeah, I mean, the punch and the kick that was our base level rudimentary combat. We have uppercuts and stuff like that in there already, and we're gonna just keep adding in more and more wrestling moves and more variety as we go along. I mean, we're working on a combo system where every time you're smashing on button A, you're getting that different punches and different kicks in there. So I mean, it's definitely going to be a lot better than what's there currently, and a lot more variety and a lot more flavor. And obviously, since it is CHIKARA, it has to be wrestling. So there's no doubt that we're throwing wrestling in there.
Yeah, we sort of broached this topic a little bit last week, but we'll rehash on it because obviously not everyone was listening last week, but. What we wanted to do, what you saw in the Kickstarter video, that's basically 30 days of development, and we wanted to get the combat system in place, and we knew it was a bit of a risk by showing it off, but we wanted to get everyone in on the ground level. So that's the base combat. That's a proof of concept. It's like, okay, you can see I can punch the guy, he can take damage, he can hit me back. That alone is a lot of work.
Yep.
And once we have that in, it's easier to iterate on top of that. So adding in new animations, and all that stuff, like at least we have the core combat in place, so we can add that stuff on top of it, and it's a lot easier. So we got the bulk of the work done, and now we need to make it pretty, get some more animations, make it more robust. And we looked at some animations just a couple days ago. They're not ready to put in the game yet, but they're going to be put in sometime soon.
Yeah.
And then when we get that, we'll make another video, put some stuff out so you guys can see the progress of what the animations are doing. Currently, we don't have any Hurricane Ranas or stuff like that, but we definitely have a dive. We have some other stuff that's going to have more wrestling flavor. So that'll definitely be a work in progress and something we're continuing to strive for. So, each time we update, there'll be more and more of that.
I mean, I think it's important to note for those who are not game devs out there, it is ridiculously hard to get a guy to punch and do damage and and have another guy react to that. I know it sounds really simple and it sounds really base, but just going from scratch to that. I mean, it's not hard, but it's just it takes work, and so the fact that we did that in 30 days, we're pretty impressed with ourselves. But I think that I think we have a long way to go, and obviously this is the beginning of our dev cycle rather than kind of at the end of our game and saying, hey, we're going to launch soon. Like this is the beginning, right? This is the very, very beginning, and we're going to continue to iterate on combat and make it better and better and add moves and add variety and add flavor. Right up until we're ready to ship this product and later on. So, I mean, I think it's just if you can imagine, if you can kind of squint your eyes and imagine, kind of what you saw in Eastern Pennsylvania and a little bit more flavor and a little bit more fun and pizzazz, kind of surrounding what we have now currently, then that's kind of what we're looking at too. So,
very, very rarely is the first stab at anything the final stab at anything. Whether it's combat systems, level design, animation, like. Game development is an iterative process. You start with your first pass, and that usually has the, what you can do with the best you can do initially, and then you refine it and tweak it and adjust it. You get feedback on it. You get it into the hands of people that aren't necessarily steeped in it 24/7 like we are, and get their thoughts on it. It's as much qualitative as it is quantitative when it comes time to make a video game.
And that's exactly why we kind of started early and tried to show the Kickstarter early, because I don't know, we want the fans to kind of be able to weigh in and say, hey, what would be really cool is if Fire Ant does the like crazy fireman's carry or whatever, right? I mean, we want people to give us feedback and say, what would be really awesome is this move I saw in this video over here, I mean, and hopefully we can add those types of things. And we can't add all of them, but I mean, having people see it early allows people to help kind of build the game that they want to build. I mean, and we can build it together rather than us showing you something that we did off in a corner somewhere, and then suddenly you guys say, oh, well, I really wish you had done it this way instead. And we say, well, we already did it, so too late. And obviously we're still going to build the game that we're trying to build. We have a vision for it, but, having people give us feedback early is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to type it here in the chat room as well. But if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask them. If not, we'll probably just go for a few more minutes here, because we mostly wanted to have Matt to talk about the level design stuff. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Jared, before we solicit for more questions?
No, I mean, obviously questions are great. No, I mean, I think I wanted to say when we were talking about picking up items and stuff and destructibles, I mean, I think, we talk a lot about the idea of, it would be really great that if you do a signature move or a special move at the end of the, when the guy is about to die, that he flies back and smashes himself into a pile of crates and, destroys the crates. I mean, one of the reasons we picked Unreal was that we have the ability to do destructibles. We have the ability to do, more interactive, fancier stuff. So, all of that stuff was just going to get layered in on top of what we already have as we keep building.
We had someone in the chat room, Servalin, I hope I pronounced that right, says we need the Omega Driver move. We maybe we'll see the Omega Driver.
I'm working on pile drivers right now. I think I might be able to pull it off. I don't know.
Wait, you personally, or
yeah, me? I'm just gonna come over and pile drive people. It's a new stretch goal. Or it's a new
reward tier.
Yep.
I like that.
Is that when we hit 20K, you?
Yeah, I'll come pile drive somebody for them.
Or will you allow yourself to be pile
Sure.
driven by someone?
I really wanted to get up on the stage somehow in Easton and get pile driven. My new Fun Sponge mask needs to come soon.
So I don't know about the Omega Driver. The characters that we've announced so far don't do that move, but you never know. So we did mention that Hallowicked was announced. So we now have 4 playable characters announced. So we have the colony of Fire Ant, Worker Ant. Now we can say Worker Ant and no longer Assailant. He's now known as Worker Ant, Green Ant, and also Hallowicked. So those are the first 4 that we've announced. And what we decided to do was for every 10K in pledges that we receive, we'll unveil another character. So we just hit 10K, so we unveiled Hallowicked. When we get to 20K, we'll unveil the next character. So let's try to get there ASAP, right?
Yeah.
We're just over. Just a quick update on Kickstarter. We're just over 20% of our goal right now, with 17 days to go. So I mean, 10 grand is awesome. So that's really cool that everyone is believes in us and has given us that money. But obviously we're not quite there yet. We need 40K more to make this happen. So if you are a fan of CHIKARA, you're a fan of beat 'em ups, you're a fan of indie dev, you want to see this game happen, help us get the word out there. We have 269 backers right now, and I know for a fact there was 1,700 people at that CHIKARA show, or 1,500 I think it was, on Sunday. So and this is a mix of people, people who are supporting us, people we know personally, people out in CHIKARA land, and but we need to get the word out there even more, because if this game's going to happen, we need to successfully fund it. Without a successful Kickstarter, who knows? We're talking to other sources of funding, but that stuff may not come through. So hopefully we can get the word out there. If you know anybody that's into CHIKARA, into indie wrestling, into beat 'em ups, or just like supporting stuff on Kickstarter. I know people out there who've supported hundreds of Kickstarter campaigns just because they like to help people out and stuff like that. So if you know anyone out there like that, feel free to share this with them. If you go to Kickstarter, just do a search for Rudo, RUDO. That's it. We're the only thing that pops up. So instead of giving you some long link to input into your browser, just go to Kickstarter, search for Rudo. We come right up. That's us. And go ahead and consider pledging and share it with your friends. We'd certainly appreciate that. We have some pretty cool stuff that we're offering for rewards, especially the high-end one. Nobody's bid yet, but that would be pretty cool if we can get a Ultramantis statue built, right?
Is that full size? Is that six
well,
statue
well,
in
maybe.
your front yard?
I'll just show up with an Ultramantis mask and cook them dinner. Or something.
Actually, we'll get Ultramantis to pile drive you. That'll be the.
He'll give you the Omega Driver. So we had Chase just asked in the chat room, will the game still come out if you don't reach your goal?
I mean, the bottom line is we need money to make this game, right? So, you know, obviously we want the money to come from the players because it would be really cool to have this entire game funded by players. It would be really awesome to be able to say that we had such a, you know, diehard fan base that they lifted it up on their shoulders and built this game with us. But we're gonna do it by any means necessary. I mean, this is our, you know, we're gaming devs by career. We've been doing it for all, you know, most if not all of our adult lives. And so I you know, we want to make this game no matter what. So we're going to do everything we can to find funding. We're hopefully meeting with publishers this week. We've got, you know, emails out to anybody, anybody you know who is a publisher or is a game news, you know, blogger, anything like, please, you know, just send them our way and we'll happily, you know, talk to them. And I mean, basically, we need to find money to make this game. So the answer is, will this game be made if we reach our goal? Maybe. You know, I mean, we're that's what we're, you know, part of.
Don't reach our goal.
If we don't, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. if we do reach our goal, it'll definitely. Because that's a promise. But yeah, no, we definitely. I mean, we want to make this game. We're not, you know, just kind of having fun in our corner basement, you know, and seeing if we can do something cool. This is really our lives. You know, and we really want to make this game and make a lot more games to come in the future. So
it is kind of funny to think that I've been developing games since before I could legally drink.
So games is more important to drinking than Matt Elliott.
But it wasn't until I started making games that I started drinking.
Yes, those two are synonymous, I think.
Yeah, these gray hairs came from children and gaming. So.
We had another question, Lysander86. What did the wrestlers think of the game when you showed it to them on Sunday? Anyone else clamoring to be in it?
Yeah, I mean, I think almost every wrestler was like, "I'm going to be in it, right? I'm going to be in it."
Yeah.
This one guy, I don't know his name, but
who's part of the Devastation Corporation.
Yeah, he just came over and he's like, "You're going to put me in this game,
and
right?"
He was big man.
Yeah, he was what 6'8", 6'6", something like that.
You're like,
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
Like, okay, no problem. He comes over in basically a tank top and like giant muscles, and he's like towering over us. Like, I'm going to be in this game, right? Like, Yep.
Put you through
you
this
weren't,
table.
but now you are. No, I mean, I think that, you know, the goal is to try to. All the wrestlers were super psyched. I mean, they were thrilled to see themselves, you know, characterized. We showed them the concept art of, you know, like we showed Fire Ant the concept art and all that stuff. And I mean, he was just so excited to see that, you know, like himself kind of characterized in a video. I mean, imagine yourself, you know, doing whatever it is you do for a living, and then suddenly, like, you know, somebody comes in and they're like, "Here, we're gonna make you famous," and they're just like, "What? Like, this is
like
amazing!"
Like a bank teller.
Exactly, a cartooned bank teller. Hey, listen, everybody has a job.
Well, I guess in Payday, we've
There
paid
you
that.
go. Exactly, right? What if there's probably maybe if that's a real life bank teller in Payday, they're like, "Oh my God, that's amazing."
That's
right?
me. That's me.
I mean, you know, our if you pledge the $1,000 tier and you become an NPC, you're gonna get that feeling too, right? So
you could be that bank teller.
exactly,
NPC.
exactly. We could make you squished red shirt number 4. It could happen.
Speaking of NPCs, we have Zamidi just gave us a little happy face in the chat room. So, Zamidi, thank you for your support. But yes, going back to Lysander's question, we had referees coming up to
Yep,
us.
that's right. That's right.
Like, hey, is there any way I can get in this? Can I get in the game?
Can I just be in the background
Yeah.
somewhere? Like, okay.
So, you know, there's so many wrestlers to choose from. Unfortunately, I don't think we can make referees playable characters, but certainly, I mean, we can, you know, probably try to fit them in as NPCs or you know, background characters or something, because, you know, like that's, you know, we want to get everyone involved that's in CHIKARA, as many people as we can, obviously, you know, with you know, art budget depending, you know.
I mean, I can't stress enough. Like the excitement level was really the thing that blew me away from being in there. You know, it was just the pure, I don't know, passion, the excitement that, you know, this is something that people were waiting for, you know, a year to come see, and it was obvious. It was really cool to kind of see how, you know, everybody really likes what they're doing. The wrestlers, you know, the fans, everybody, right? And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I mean, I didn't think I would have as much fun watching the matches that I did. You know, and so I mean, I think everybody. I really want to get now. I feel like I want to go out there and make this happen for them, right? Because, you know, like, it's like these people are just, the wrestlers and the fans are just so excited, and it's just like don't want to let them down, you know. So
well, and having the opportunity to learn more about CHIKARA, it's actually like really exciting and refreshing just how kind of wacky the whole thing is. You know, how like excited they are about doing just, you know, pop culture references, just having fun in their events, and compared to other IPs out there where they're very serious and it's very like by the books. We take this super like this is a Bible basically. Like Chikara just wants to have fun, and that was really like exciting. And that's being able to work with a partner like that wants to have as much fun with the product that we want to have with the product has been very refreshing, and very exciting and energizing, especially as we were trying to get our demo together and just hearing the excitement and the feedback that we were getting from Quack.
Yeah. Yeah, we have Chase also has something else in the chat room. If someone who you didn't plan to be in the roster had new fame, for example, the new champion Icarus, and you wanted him in the game, would you be able to fit him in by replacing one of the planned wrestlers who has lost popularity? So we know who the first 9 are going to be, but we're teasing it out. And I know that we talked about being open and honest, but this is just one of those things, right? I mean, we want to keep dangle this carrot, so that hopefully we get some more interest and people want to like help support it and everything. But we know obviously because we released a piece of art that has question marks over who, the silhouetted wrestlers of who's going to be in the game. So those 9 are it. They're not going to change. But we do have a list of 24 playable characters that we'd like to see get in the game, and that's all dependent on stretch goals